We are inching closer and closer and closer to Week 10 of the 2021 NFL season. It's Wednesday. Listen, it's the middle of the week. Nothing exciting is going on except today is the day we find out about all those injuries that have been happening to a lot of these players that's dealing with all these lingering issues that have been missing weeks after weeks after weeks. Some people in concussion protocol, some people getting COVID as well, which we're going to be talking about on this episode of Time2Football. Glad you guys are joining us for this wonderful Wednesday morning. My name is Hassan Khan, the host of this show that we like to call Time2Football. Very, very appreciative that you guys are popping in. Yeah, some people got COVID in the process as well. Some players got fined recently, which we're gonna get into. But yeah, Wednesday. Wednesday is not a significant day in the NFL, but what it is you learn about okay, who's practicing, who's not practicing, because it's the first for many practice days. For the Thursday night football game between the Ravens and the Dolphins, this is actually the end of their practice week. So we're going to find out who's active, who's inactive as well. I'm going to give you some updates on that. So we're going to be talking about some NFL news and notes, as well as talking about our power rankings. We update you guys on this every single week. What's going on in the NFL? Who's the best team? Who's not the best team? We're going to give you our insight on that. Glad you guys are joining us in the live chat. Continue to leave your comments throughout the duration of the show, and I'll get to you guys as soon as I can. Some of you guys are already tuning in. Ron Real TV. Yo, 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 yo. What's up, bro? Zobu. Good morning. Fire emoji, fire emoji, fire emoji. Preem da plug. Premio da plug. Dude, you're a music channel? Hey, I gotta check out your stuff, dude. I gotta how do I can't click on your channel from here through the live chat. What is up with this? Anyways, I'm gonna actually then, as a matter of fact, just keep you in mind. I will check out your channel and I will listen to your stuff for sure. Y'all ready for that Thursday night fire? Yeah, it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. But if you're already ready for Thursday, I mean that's you're really looking forward to this game. Are you a Ravens fan or a Dolphins fan? This was actually the beginning of the Lamar Jackson era, 2019, week 1, where Lamar Jackson threw 5 touchdowns and proved that he was not just a running back in the NFL, but he was actually a prolific passer, and he won the MVP that year. So that's going to be pretty neat for Baltimore to come back to Miami. First time since coming back since that 5-touchdown game by Lamar Jackson that catapulted his MVP season. So it'll be an exciting game. But as of today, let's talk about some NFL news and notes that's been going around the league. Ladies and gentlemen, COVID. Who's got the COVID now? Nick Chubb and Demetric Felton. Tisk. They were diagnosed with COVID yesterday, right after we signed off of our live show yesterday, which, if you're new to this, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every single week or every single day, Monday through Friday, he got COVID. And Nick Chubb and Demetric Felton did. So they're going to be out. And that kind of sucks, knowing that, Dearness Johnson's probably going to be stepping in, what we assume. However, there is a chance that Nick Chubb can be playing because he's vaccinated, which means that all he has to do is prove that he can get 2 negative tests within 24 hours of each other. If that happens, it could happen on Friday, it could happen on Saturday, Nick Chubb can play. So, for you guys that play fantasy football, I know you guys probably put in a big waiver claim to get Dearness Johnson. Hopefully it works out for you guys, because if it doesn't, then you just spend a lot of fab for no reason. But we'll see. We'll see if it works out. I think Dearness Johnson should be owned in leagues anyways, just because he's like the Kareem Hunt. In that Kareem Hunt role, I'd consider Dearness Johnson to be in that role. So, yeah, Dearness Johnson would be the next man up if anything were to happen. Next little bit of NFL news and notes. What is going on? Why is this not updating? Give me 1 second. Here we are. Sam Darnold, he had a partial fracture in his right scapula. So he's been diagnosed with that. He was already dealing with some shoulder issues, dealing with the concussion as well. Played in that game for the New England Patriots. Now he will miss a few weeks. What is the Panthers' response to this? Well, they signed Matt Barkley, the longtime journeyman around the NFL, who's played for the Buffalo Bills. He's played for the I think he was drafted by the New York Jets, if I'm not mistaken. But he's also played for the Chicago Bears as well before Mitch Trubisky came into town. He's been signed off the Titans practice squad and onto the roster for the Carolina Panthers. So we expect PJ Walker and Matt Barkley to be the quarterbacks going into this Sunday for the Carolina Panthers. Brashad Perriman signs with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, his former team. So he was released by the Detroit Lions because he was not living up to expectations. Let's just say that. Yeah, he's was not meeting expectations. He was released, and the Bucs finally were jumping on the opportunity. Let's sign him. So he gets signed to the practice squad. So Brashad Perriman returns to Tampa Bay. The NFL fines the Green Bay Packers $300,000, the price of a house, pretty much. And they fine Aaron Rodgers and Alan Lazard as well, $14,000 each for violating COVID-19 protocols. Oh my gosh, guys. They find that's a huge, hefty fine for the Green Bay Packers. Now for Aaron Rodgers, for Alan Lazard, maybe that's like a little bit of chump change. More for Aaron Rodgers, obviously, because Alan Lazard doesn't make as much as he does. But yeah, for violating protocols, Aaron Rodgers has been under fire for his COVID-19, I guess, loop-de-loop, saying that he was vaccinated, but like, oh, no, I was, twisting the words and stuff like that. I don't get into it, dude. Hey, if you're a political guy, that's awesome. Do your thing. Hey, Jimmy Kimmel, if you want to criticize Aaron Rodgers, that's awesome. Do your thing. Hey, Howard Stern. Hey, Terry Bradshaw. Hey, Michael Strahan. Hey, that whole Fox crew. If you want to criticize Stephen A. Smith. First and foremost, I just want to say I respect the Green Bay Packers organization. But LeBron, yeah, bad man. Yeah, y'all criticize whatever I'm not getting into this. I'm here just to talk about football, and that's why you guys tune in. So let's talk about football. Green Bay Packers have been fined. Aaron Rodgers has been fined in the process as well. So speaking of just football, I mean, it's relative in the sense that Dalvin Cook might miss some time, but okay, so he's going through like a little bit of a domestic dispute right now, I think, with a former woman that he had relations with in the terminology of Bill Clinton. So he was a victim, and then she came out and said that she wasn't the victim. Or no, he said that he was the victim, and then she came out and said, no, actually, I was the victim. And then they had a whole statement. I read the whole statement on Dalvin Cook. It's a mess. I'm not going to get into it. They figure out their own legal issues. You know what? As a matter of fact, I'm just going on a tangent here, guys. I'm sorry. Just bear with me. I'm going on a tangent. Speaking of just leaving everybody's personal life out of football, guess what? Guess what ESPN did? They talked about Najee Harris. We talked about this on the show yesterday. Being homeless for like 5 minutes. 5 whole minutes. They also talk about Darren Waller having a drug addiction, or used to have one, every single time he plays on Monday Night Football. Why? And then Najee Harris later on tweeted, what was it? Steve Levy said, when Najee Harris got to Alabama, he was actually more comfortable with sleeping on the floor than actually in his own bed because he was homeless growing up. And then Najee Harris came out and said, I ain't sleep on no damn floor. Tweeted that out and said, you're dragging my name through all this. What do he called it? He called it trauma porn as well, whereas it's just get rid of all the past of Najee Harris and talk about the present and the future. Let's talk about football. But they just kept on bringing back all the trauma for Najee Harris. And, that's, I don't know. It's ridiculous. ESPN does a lot of those things. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you a couple of these things because I'm just on this tangent right now. So sorry if I'm off topic, but I'm going to get back into NFL news in just a minute. But I got to pull this up because this was actually very, very surprising that I learned this because I saw this on the Twitter when I saw Najee Harris tweet, and I was like, really? They show stuff like this all the freaking time. Okay, so here's the thing. Now, during the NFL draft, you know how they have like those player bios all the time? Like, okay, this guy, he grew up in this city, this state. He, in a fun fact, like, for instance, the one that I'm about to show you is about Laviska Shenault, how his hobbies include video games, Sudoku, and then there's just like football facts as well, like named first team, NCAA, like Division One, like all the stats. Like, cool, awesome. Like, hey, and you named a hobby, like we get to know more about this guy. Then they have to throw an irrelevant fact in there that makes absolutely no sense that talks about their personal life when you shouldn't be talking about their personal life. This is an actual graphic that they pulled up of Laviska Shenault when he was drafted from Colorado to Jacksonville. This is his actual player bio that was on ESPN. Hometown, okay, cool, DeSoto, Texas. Hobbies include video games and Sudoku. Spent time volunteering in high school to honor a local veteran. Boom, done, right there. A, you know what you didn't talk about so far? Football. Let's talk about Laviska Shenault's stats and accomplishments in college, but instead we get mother, Annie, contracted and survived West Nile virus in 2012. What? Did I? Yes, I read that right. Okay. Why? Why do you have to? Why? So, anyways, it just reminded me of that, of the whole Najee Harris thing, and he's mad at ESPN, and it's just this whole mess. This whole mess. Leave your thoughts in the chat. Really, I want to hear your thoughts and your opinions and your comments because it has gotten out of hand. Like, ESPN. Listen, I've gone to college for sportscasting, for journalism. I tried to find a job for like 2 years. Nobody would give me a shot. So I was like, hey, you know what? I'm just going to do my own thing. And now I do this. Like, this is my full-time job. And ESPN was one of those jobs that I applied for out of college. But I always told myself, like, yeah, I don't want to work for ESPN. Like, I will. Like, it'd be an honor to work for them. But NFL Network is like my main goal, just because they're more focused on stats and football and stuff like that, while ESPN is just more about drama. Uh, and this kind of backs it up. ESPN, they did not offer me a job, but they actually reached out to me. Hey, Time2Football, we love your video. Can we use your footage? Oh, but you can't have the job. I'm just going on these complete rants right here. I'm sorry. Okay. Anyways, let's talk about NFL news and notes. Hashtag things ESPN posts. That should be a thing on Twitter. I'm going to start it. Follow me at Time2Football or at It's Hassan Khan. I'm going to start it. Things ESPN posts. Wow, that actually brought in a lot of viewers. That rant, because I think we were just tuning in for like it was 17 viewers before I started ranting, and now we have 41 people tuning into this live chat. Wow. Okay. Cool. I guess I should rant more about that. But hey, let's get back to football. Denzel Mims has been placed on the COVID-19 list. He's going to miss this game for the New York Jets, what we would expect. Greg Zuerlein also placed on the COVID-19 list. He's expected to miss this game as well. So I don't know who the Dallas Cowboys are going to be bringing in or trying out for the kicker position. But, I mean, after putting up a goose egg just because they've been down by so much in the last week's game against the Denver Broncos, Greg Zuerlein is going to have to wait another week before he gets onto the field and actually has a field goal attempt. So Greg Zuerlein placed on that COVID-19 list. Big news coming out of Cleveland. Well, not in Cleveland anymore because you wore your free OBJ shirts. Hey, that made a difference. He was already planned to getting released. But OBJ has finally cleared waivers, and now he is officially a free agent. He has the opportunity to go anywhere that he chooses to please. And right now, Mike Florio, not Michael F. Florio of NFL Network that talks about NFL fantasy, but Mike Florio, which sometimes he's reliable, sometimes he's not. He says that the Seattle Seahawks, the Saints, are some teams that are actually legitimate contenders. The 49ers as well that could sign him. Now, this was this past Sunday. And actually, I like Mike Florio. I think he's legit. Some people say he's not. I think whatever he reports is he's always backed up. So, but another sources out there saying that the Green Bay Packers is OBJ's preferred choice to play. Opposite of Devontae Adams, having Aaron. Finally, could that be the wide receiver 2 that the Packers so desperately needed? Because people were talking about maybe Laviska Shenault being the guy that you draft instead of Jordan Love. Maybe even DK Metcalf. People were talking about maybe you should draft him. Maybe we're talking about, let's trade for OBJ for all these years. Maybe people were talking about, hey, let's trade for any wide receiver. Let's trade for Stephon Diggs. Let's trade, all these receivers over the years that have been available for trade. Now, Odell Beckham Jr. is going to be in that conversation to sign for the Green Bay Packers. That is big news, opposite of Devontae Adams. Huge. Let's see if he actually signs with them. Another wide receiver that has been granted his release, Josh Reynolds. So Josh Reynolds, you may not know about him. He played on the LA Rams. and he was actually pretty decent. Stepped in as a good, I would say, feasible wide receiver 3 behind Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods for all these years. And then he signed with the Tennessee Titans this past offseason. Now he just asked for his release, and he was granted that. And I don't know why, because the Tennessee Titans are, number one, the best team in the AFC so far. Number two, I mean, you had Julio Jones hurt, A.J. Brown hurt, Derrick Henry is now hurt now. But in that process of your top 2 receivers being hurt, Josh Reynolds had the opportunity to step up as the number 1 receiver. He didn't necessarily claim that spot, but as of right now, it's looking like Josh Reynolds is he wanted his release because he was getting multiple offers prior to signing with the Tennessee Titans, and he's going to sign with any team that he chooses to please. So we'll see which team Josh Reynolds signs with. Chris Carson, big news out of Seattle. He is going to be practicing on Wednesday. So for you guys that are waiting for his long-awaited return onto the practice field, Chris Carson is back. Now, disclaimer, Alex Collins is expected. I expect Alex Collins to start in this game because that neck injury is kind of serious for Chris Carson. Pete Carroll said even though Chris Carson is coming back, they're going to be cautious and they're going to be monitoring his status ahead of Week 10. But he's practicing, so that's good news for Chris Carson. Okay, some news for Thursday Night Football. Tua Tagovailoa, he's a game-time decision. He was an emergency quarterback last week. Could be an emergency quarterback this week. We will see his status. Also, Latavius Murray is still not practicing. Devontae Freeman is expected to be the starting running back in this game against the Miami Dolphins. Latavius Murray is expected to miss yet another game. And then James Robinson should be able to play in Week 10 against the Indianapolis Colts. This is per Urban Meyer making that announcement and that news. And then you've also got last little bit of news I thought was just pretty fun. Frank Gore is in a boxing match with NBA guard Deron Williams on December 18th. So the former All-Pro NFL running back for the 49ers, the Colts, the Jets, you name it, the Bills, he will now be playing in the ring. He will be boxing. I actually kind of want him to get signed once his son comes into the NFL. He's close. I think it's only like a year or 2 away, right? Or maybe it's this upcoming year. I don't know. That'd be cool if they played on the same team. But anyways, those are your NFL news and notes. It took forever to get past that. It took like 15 minutes. But hey, it is what it is. When ESPN gets you mad, ESPN gets you mad. Okay, so I had a little bit of a segment planned where I talk about the starts and sits video and kind of go over that. I don't know if you guys like that or not. But I mean, I'll just kind of, I told myself I want to go on long today. You know what? Instead of showing that and kind of going over it, I'm going to just spend more time answering your fantasy football questions. So before I get into that, though, we talk about power rankings every week. So let me just quickly go through this, and then I promise I'll get to you guys' questions that you guys are leaving in the chat and spend a few minutes answering those. Power rankings, what has changed in the last few weeks or since last Monday? Who's the number 1 team now? Is it still the Packers, even though they lost? But they beat the Cardinals, and the Cardinals looked good even without their quarterback 1, wide receiver 1, you name it. So let me first start off with 25 through 32. Stop talking about it. 17 through 24, stop talking about it. So I'm going to go 8 by 8 by 8, and then we're going to talk about it. So first, 25 through 32, we've got the Giants at 25, the Eagles at 26, the Jaguars at 27, the Bears at 28, the Jets at 29, 30 Dolphins, 31 Lions, and 32 Texans. Not really much to talk about here, except the Jaguars take a little bit of a bump. I wanted to bump them up more, but let's just hold off. I don't know whether that was more of a Bills bad game or a good game by the Jaguars. So let's just hold them off and put them at 27 for now. The Jets, they drop a few spots. Even though they have been looking good, I had to make room for the Jaguars moving up, so I had to drop them a few spots. Other than that, not really much to talk about there. I mean, it's self-explanatory. The bottom 8, unfortunately, in the NFL. Now, let's move on to the second bottom 8, if that makes sense. What do we got? We got 17, the Raiders, 18, the Colts, 19, Broncos, 20, 49ers, 21, Vikings, 22, Panthers, 23, Washington, and 22 for the Atlanta Falcons. Hey, the Falcons, 4-4, looking good. looking pretty decent. They could be better than number 24, but for now, I'm going to put them outside of the top 20. Let's just wait and see. The Broncos move up a couple of spots after that dominant performance against the Dallas Cowboys. Again, don't know if that was a bad game by the Cowboys or a good game by the Broncos. I think it's more of a good game by the Broncos, but for now, let's just keep them at number 19, move up into the top 20, and then falling out of the top 20 is the Minnesota Vikings. So freaking talented. But you're 3-5 now? You can't close out games. Losing by one possession in all these losses, man. I like Minnesota a lot, but they got to start closing out these games. They really do. So I have them outside of the top 20 for now. Now let's talk about 9 through 16. So these are teams that are in the wild card contention and actually playoff contenders. So we've got the Saints at 9, the Chargers at 10, the Steelers at 11, the 12, the Browns at 12, 13 Bengals, 14 Chiefs, 15 Patriots, and 16 Seahawks. Okay, I had to bump the Patriots up to the top 15 just because they've been looking great the last 3 weeks. And even in their losses, they have been competing. Like with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, one of the best teams in the NFL. Hey, the Patriots are legit wild card contenders in the AFC. Because look at it. You got the Chiefs to fight with, the Bengals, the Browns. I really think that the Patriots could make an impact in the AFC. And this game against the Browns is really going to determine if they're worthy of making the AFC wildcard round. So we'll see. We'll see for sure. And then I had to move up, the Chargers, Steelers, Browns, just because the Bengals keep on falling down. Oh my gosh, it did not look pretty for the Cincinnati Bengals. They have a bye week to reset, so let's see if they actually are one of the best teams in the AFC, or if they just, I don't know, just had a string of a few good games, and after that they just kind of faltered and didn't really do anything after that. All right, let's talk about the Elite Eight now. Who are the best teams in the NFL? Let's start with number 1 team, the Green Bay Packers. 2, the Cardinals. 3, the Titans. 4, the Rams. 5, Buccaneers. 6, Cowboys. 7, Bills. And 8, the Baltimore Ravens. Hey, Hassan, the Green Bay Packers lost. And the Cardinals destroyed the San Francisco 49ers without Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins. How come the Cardinals are ranked lower than the Packers? Well, hey, it's simple. The Packers beat the Cardinals. That's it. That's it. Oh, but hey, I mean, they didn't have their quarterback 1. They didn't have their wide receiver 1. The Cardinals against the 49ers. The Packers did not have their top 3 wide receivers in that game. So, and the 49ers or the Cardinals were healthy in that game. So, I mean, if you want the top spot, then beat the top team. That's just really it. So if the Packers continue to lose, even when Aaron Rodgers were to come back, sure, like I might move the Cardinals back up because we can say maybe that game against the Packers was just a fluke. Maybe it was just AJ Green not paying attention, and that's what cost them the game. But for now, I had to give the top spot to the Green Bay Packers. Let's wait and see if they actually are legit. So that is your power rankings ahead of Week 10. If you agree, disagree, leave your comments down below in the chat. Let us know. 51 people are joining us right now. Thank you for joining us. Now I'm going to spend some time answering any sort of questions that you guys are leaving in the chat. Also interacting with you guys that I don't know what you guys have been talking about in the chat. I have not had the opportunity to look down. But let's talk. ASMR. Miguel, good morning. Peace sign. Yes, sir. Daily check-in. Deniz, good morning from Montreal. Thank you, sir, for tuning in. Good to see you, Hassan. Yeah. Quando le Fouque. It's a French line I learned not too long ago. Let's see if you can translate that. Joey Gons, happy hump day. Good luck to all. Yes, sir. Corey Thompson, morning, everyone. Should I start Rashad Bateman or Jerry Jeudy in my second wide receiver full PPR? Deontay Johnson is my next wide receiver. Okay. Well, listen, we got to break it down. Bateman plays the Dolphins. All right. Jeudy plays the Eagles. Okay. Deontay is someone that you should actually start for sure. Like, you already got it. You're good, Corey. And then number 2 receiver, Jeudy or Bateman. I like Bateman. I like the consistency that he's getting in targets. 8 targets last week, just behind Mark Andrews for the team lead, who had 10 targets last week. So I like Bateman. But I'm going to go Jerry Jeudy. Teddy Bridgewater and Jerry Jeudy just have this connection that is just laser focused. I'm going with Jeudy in this matchup. That's who I would start. Good morning, T2F. Chavez girls. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks to Hassan, I've won the past 2 years, so bless. Hey, the plug. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. I have Russell Wilson stashed in IR. Do I stash him, or do I start him, or start Teddy Bridgewater and wait Russell for next week? Nah, if Wilson's good to go and he got the clearance from the doctor, and he posted this early this week, and Tuesday, or was it Monday? Even better. He's ready. He's ready. Boom. Good to go. DK Metcalf's there. Tyler Lockett's there. It could be a high-scoring game with Aaron Rodgers back as well, potentially. Got to go all out with Russell Wilson. I'd start Russell Wilson. David, morning. Need a quarterback. Looking at Joe Burrow, do you think trading Javonte Williams for him would work? Yes, you would get him for Javonte Williams, but I would absolutely not do that trade. I would hold on to Javonte Williams with the hope that he emerges as the number one back. Even if he doesn't emerge as the number one back, he's still getting his fair share of touches. 10 to 12 to 15 touches. Not what we hoped for, but he takes advantage of the touches that he has. I love Javonte Williams a lot, and his schedule coming up is very, very friendly. You got to hold on to Javonte Williams. There's a guy in my league that has Joe Burrow, and I'm thinking about trading him he needs a running back, and I'd be okay trading him Boston Scott, Latavius Murray, maybe Myles Gaskin for Joe Burrow. But Javonte Williams just has so much upside, so I would hold on to him. Ron Real TV, need a wide receiver this week to fill in. Ayuk, Corey Davis, or Elijah Moore. Corey Davis, Elijah Moore, I would bench. Buffalo, man. Buffalo's pretty tough. So I would start Ayuk. What you think about Odell wanting to go to Green Bay, apparently? Dude, this is going to work out. It would work out. Finally, Odell has come back to relevancy. Yeah. Odell should be legit if he actually plays for Green Bay. Miguel, should I drop Tony bye week this week and add Fuller, Odell Beckham, Corey Davis, Sterling Shepard, Gallup, AJ Green, DPJ, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Allen Robinson, or T.Y. Hilton? Out of all of those, if you need to drop Tony, sure, I would do it. I'd pick up Gallup, dude. Gallup is the way to go. AJ Terrell, people are not giving him enough credit for the Atlanta Falcons, and I was one of them. As a Falcons fan, I was like, oh, we drafted this guy. And he was good at Clemson, but I was afraid that he was going to get burnt a lot. And he's had his hiccups here and there, but it took some time. But AJ Terrell was actually developing into a solid corner for the Atlanta Falcons. So if he's lined up with Amari Cooper, with CeeDee Lamb, it's either one of those two, because they're the top two wide receivers in Dallas. Boom, Michael Gallup, open for opportunity to succeed. Boom, Michael Gallup, targeted a lot by Dak Prescott before he left the game. I think it was in the second quarter against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Week 1. Had 4 receptions before halftime. I like Michael Gallup. Jeff Fields, just dropped my daily like. Thank you, sir. I have to leave the stream a little early today, but keep up the good work. Dude, I even appreciate you. I don't even know if you're watching right now. You just said that you left. But, hey, Jeff, I appreciate you tuning in. I really do. That really does mean a lot. Bruh, they did him dirty. Who cares about that? Rubio said that. DePlug said that. Yeah, you're talking about Najee Harris. It's freaking stupid. Jeff saying, I understand the personal side of it, but it is definitely a bit weird to add so many personal non-football details. In all honesty, it seems a bit intrusive sometimes. Yeah, dude. And, I don't know. We've all of us have gone through, personal things in our life, and I would hate for any of it to, just be broadcasted. Even if it's oh, yeah, sure. I don't mind talking about it. I'm an open book, sure, whatever. But it's come on, don't expose me so much. And I remember one time, actually, back in 2012, the NFL has gotten better about this, but on NFL.com, there was a news article back in 2012, 2013, something like that. The year Sean Payton was suspended from the New Orleans Saints, he actually divorced his wife, and that was an article on NFL.com. Like Sean Payton is getting a divorce from his wife. That was the article, and I was like, "Are you serious? They're actually talking about this right now." They're like, "Yeah, in a year where Sean Payton gets suspended and things aren't going wrong, it just gets even worse. Sean Payton is just divorcing his wife." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, man, leave this out." Like, you're tearing a man down. Number one, number two. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares about Aaron Rodgers and his relationship with his family? Like, who cares? I don't know, dude. I don't know. Random fun generator saying, "I love that rant." Hey, appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it. Uh, Wally saying, Pittman, Godwin, Dearness Johnson, pick two. Well, if Dearness can go, if Nick Chubb can't go, then I would go with Dearness Johnson. That would be number one. And then Godwin, honestly. But if Nick Chubb plays, then it'd be Pittman and Godwin would be my two. Aloha, Rob Dale. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. PPR, Fryermuth or Hawkinson this week. And also, I start both if I flex one over Gaskin. Ooh. I don't trust Myles Gaskin. I know the matchup is like good, kind of, but like I don't trust Myles Gaskin. But Fryermuth, even though he had 2 touchdowns, he didn't have that many receptions either. I'm going to lean in on Gaskin and Hawkinson if I were you. Those would be my two that I would play. Jordan saying, if he goes Chiefs or 49ers, will it hurt me having Hill and Debo? Talking about Odell. I don't think it'll hurt Hill, but I think it will hurt Debo. Just because Mahomes is going to continue to pass. He's still going to get targets to his favorite players, and playmakers are like all of them could succeed. That'll actually help the Chiefs offense a lot. Open things up. But for Debo, like Debo's already suffering a little bit. Like he's still getting the targets, so last week wasn't like too bad. And also he had a calf injury, so he was kind of limited. But George Kittle and Brandon Ayuk's breakout did hurt Debo a bit. So even if Odell goes there, yeah, I think it'll hurt Ayuk more than Debo, but it'll still hurt Debo. As far as Hill, nah, I don't think so. I have McKissick and Gibson talking about Chavez girls, and it was offered Barkley and Javonte Williams. Concern is who do you think has a greater upside going forward, Barkley or Gibson? Thank you as always. Oh, that's a tough question, man. That's a tough question. Or woman. I don't know if Chavez girls is a girl or guy, but I'm gonna go with the more upside. Just the fact that you get Javonte Williams out of it, like that's enough for me. Like that's enough. Like if it was just Gibson and McKissick for Barkley, then I'd be like, like I'd have to think a little bit more about that. But since it's Barkley and Javonte Williams, like 2 players that could break out towards the end of the season and have good weeks 11 through 17, 18, whatever. Yeah, I would take that trade. Like you're packaging literally just one running back, even though it's McKissick and Gibson. Like it's two, it's one, it's one. Like only one of them is gonna break out in each game. Could be both, but like it's just so hard to trust and who to start every single week. Trust me, I have both. I understand. So if I could get Saquon and Javonte out of Gibson and McKissick, I'd absolutely do that. Go for it. Scar, trade Russell Wilson or A.J. Dillon for A.J. Dillon and Judy. I have Dak and Herbert. Oh, yeah. Dude, if you have, I'm guessing you're in a super flex league if you have 2 quarterbacks. But it looks like Dak and Herbert, both of them, already have their bye week, if I'm not mistaken, right? So all the way, like they should be good to go. They should be your starters moving forward. With Russell Wilson, yeah. Get rid of them. Get some depth at running back and wide receiver. Christian flex. I have Bateman, Pat Fryermuth, Damon Harris, Corey Davis if he returns. Where's your question? I don't see. Did you ask a question earlier? Did I skip you? Maybe I don't know. Flex. You just put one word, flex. That's more of a command, by the way. That's not a question. Who do I flex would be a question. I have Bateman, Pat Fryermuth, and Damon Harris, Corey Davis if he returns. Okay. Corey Davis is set to return per Robert Saleh, the head coach of the New York Jets. Bateman would be. Is this standard? If it's standard, Damon Harris, if he can go. If he's out, then it's Bateman. I know it's kind of he plays on Thursday. Bateman does, but if it's PPR all the way, Bateman. I'd go Rashad Bateman. Patterson or Damian Williams. I also have Cook too. Cordero Patterson. Cordero Patterson all the way. Singletary or Collins in a flex option. Thanks. If Zach Moss doesn't play, it's Singletary. If Zach Moss does play, it's Singletary. I'm going Singletary. Money, motivated. Thielen, Hilton, Edwards, Moore, Hardman, and Agnew. Full PPR pick 3, please, with the Z. Yes, sir. Since you used the Z, I'll answer your question. Thielen, 1. Hilton if he plays. And Moore if Hopkins doesn't play. If Hopkins does play, then I would go with Jamal Agnew. I hate it, but I love it. Damian Williams or Gaskin, and CD or Thielen. I talked about Darrell Williams. Christian, I would go with Darrell Williams. Go with CD Lamb. And then Justin. So this is the last question if you guys are watching this live right now that I see on my chat. So this is going to be the last question. Then I got to go. Or who else should I package with Thielen? Justin, you're asking. Because you're talking about should I trade away Thielen and Emmanuel Sanders for Pittman Jr.? Who should I package with Thielen to get a high-end wide receiver? I have Tony Moore and Ayuk, Gronk, and Schultz on the bench. RB1 is Cook. RB2 is Najee Harris. Swift is in the flex. Goddard at tight end. Okay. Let's think through this. Or should I package with Thielen to get a high-end wide receiver? Can you get like an A.J. Brown? Can you get a Jamar Chase who's been kind of on a decline the last couple of weeks? But if you want to talk about packaging, like a 2-for-1 wide receiver trade, I would try to get rid of. I mean, if you want someone to bite, it'd be Thielen and Ayuk. But make sure you get someone like legit, like, yeah, I mean, Jamar Chase, Cooper Kupp, those guys come to my mind. Maybe even Deebo Samuel. No, I wouldn't do Deebo Samuel. But yeah, like Jamar Chase would be someone that I would go after. Someone that's been on decline. But yeah, Thielen and Ayuk, and then should I trade away Thielen and Emmanuel Sanders for Pittman Jr.? No, Thielen is better than both those receivers, so no, I wouldn't do it. All right, you guys are leaving your questions even more. Is Mark Ingram worth stashing? With stashing, not starting. Who should I start for Pat Freiermuth or Goddard? It's Goddard. You know, I'm going to go Freiermuth. No, I'm going Goddard. I changed my mind. Goddard will be my guy. Bateman or Ayuk for flex. I want to wait and see before I play Ayuk. So I'd play Bateman. Jacobs or Gibson? Jacobs. You skipped my question. I thought I answered it, Justin. Did I not answer it? The one with Emmanuel Sanders and Adam Thielen? I don't know. I thought I did. Yeah, don't trade Thielen. Anyways, I got to go. I got to sign off right here. But I appreciate you guys joining in for this episode of Time to Football. Hey guys. Appreciate you joining us. And yeah, ESPN just a little bit of TMZ mixed in there with some sports, with some was it the Young Turk Sports channel as well is one of those where, oh my gosh, just too much drama. Hey, drop that subscribe, drop that like as well, and stay tuned for these live shows where I answer your fantasy football questions, and then you just hang out with me for the next 30-40 minutes or so. With all that said, thank you guys so much for watching, and remember, LaVisca's mom, West Nile virus.